Hi everyone, welcome. This is Debbie Vornholt with Common Sense Landlording. Today we're going to take a few minutes and talk about people, landlords who have trouble turning prospects down. Typically what will happen, I've been there, I've done this. You meet someone, a prospect, you talk to them on the phone, maybe you meet them at an open house, and you just love them. You bond with them, you identify with them for whatever reason. I personally like animals. You can talk to me about any kind of animal, horses, dogs, whatever, cats, and I love them. So I can bond with people that way. Maybe it's a car, maybe it's a life experience, maybe it's an old high school person that you went to school with. You just never know. But you really like this person. And then after talking with them, you find out that they have some issue, whether it's credit, rental history, whatever, that would make them not eligible to rent from you. How many of you have ever, raise your hand, how many of you have ever just thrown that rule book out the window and taken a chance? Because I have. And I've had to get to where I don't do that anymore because it almost always ends disastrously. Is what happens is you really love these people and you convince yourself that this time it will be different. This time these people will pay the rent. They will take care of the property, whatever the situation is, and they just need a second chance. And I've run across a lot of landlords I see all the time online. They'll say, I rented to these people, this family, they needed a second chance and don't judge me. And I don't, because at the end of the day, I've been there. We've all been there. The problem is, because I've been there, I know that these prospects, these tenants now, are not bad people. They typically speaking do not mean to not pay the rent. They have convinced themselves that this time they're going to do what they say they're going to do, and they're going to pay the rent, and they're going to do what they're supposed to be and be responsible tenants, keep that job or whatever. But these people don't have the necessary skill sets. I've learned that. I have looked at this issue long and hard because it drives me crazy to take a chance on someone that I genuinely like, and then they don't do what they say they're going to do. And I have learned that they just don't have the skill sets. Someone that has the correct skill sets, you're going to see that on their application and on their credit. They're going to keep a job. They're going to stay at their rentals, not for a year or whatever. They're going to come and stay. They're going to have good credit scores. They aren't going to have things in collections. The people that don't have the skill sets, you're going to identify them right off the bat. They job hop, they house hop, they have terrible credit scores, and they have all kinds of challenges, possibly judgments, bankruptcies, evictions. Those people just don't have the skill sets to be great tenants. They don't have the skill set to be a decent tenant. So I don't want these people. And a lot of these people have been passed through the system from landlord to landlord because landlords felt sorry for them. And then the landlord is stuck holding the bag, lost rent. The house is damaged, and then they have to evict these people. And that's if there's not an eviction moratorium going on. Right now we're kind of in the middle of this pandemic still. And even if you want to evict people, it's really, really hard. Maybe you'll get lucky and you can evict them on a technicality and not for loss of rent. But the bottom line is you now have the stress and the financial hardship of no rent and having to get rid of this person. I look at it this way, and it's taken me years to get to this mind shift. When you hire someone, you look for an employee with very specific skill sets. You're not going to hire someone for an accounting firm who doesn't have an accounting background. So we're looking to basically hire a tenant with the proven skill sets that we need. And we're not going to usually just take a chance on some random employee because they have to not only be able to do the job, they have to get along with the other coworkers, and that's not always going to happen. So look at them like that. Look at them as employee tenants because you expect them to move in, pay the rent on time each and every month. You expect your tenant to do their job, take care of the property, cut the grass, report any maintenance issues, and stay for the duration of the lease. That's their job. They have specific responsibilities, and when they don't, you fire them. It's not as easy as firing an employee, but you evict them. So as a landlord, it's okay to empathize with these people. It's okay to feel bad for them. Do not take on their issues. It's not your job to solve them. It is not your job to fix them. And I struggle with this too. I really do, because I like people. And it is very difficult to turn some of these people down, especially when they're crying on the phone. But I will tell you this, when you turn them down, they can get really mean sometimes. So I have a very standard line that I use. It's called company policy. And I say, I am so sorry. I would love to rent to you. And that's probably the case. You would love to rent to these people. But company policy requires, and then insert whatever that is, income of 3 times the rent, and you don't meet that. Job history, you have to be on your job 12 months. And I'm sorry, but you just started. Your credit score has to be whatever. And I'm sorry, but your credit score is too low. Whatever the situation is, you have too many evictions, you have too many dogs, too many cats. It doesn't even have to be a credit issue. So, and you can't make an exception. You need to say, I'm sorry, this is company policy. I'll lose my job. Don't ever be the owner, always be the landlord or the property manager or even the landlord. And you need to say, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to make an exception. It's against the rules. It's against company policy. And you need to view all of these people as prospects. They aren't family. They aren't individual people. They are simply prospects. This needs to be very factual. This needs to be based on not emotion, on the facts. Their rental history, their credit history, all of those things are verifiable facts. Has nothing to do with what they look like or how they act and how much you like them. So keep your emotions out of it. Even your fear. I know landlords who make decisions based on fear because they're afraid the house is going to sit. They're afraid that this is the last person who's ever going to apply. You need to stop that, because at the end of the day, it's your job to protect the asset, which is the property. And it's also your job to collect the rent so that you can pay your bills. And when you take a chance on these people, you can't pay your bills and you can't do your job when they don't pay you. So you're looking for a great tenant with proven skill sets. You're not looking for someone who you have to hold their hand and remind them every month they have to pay and remind them that they promised you they would pay. So we're good people, but that doesn't mean you have to take on every person who needs your help. It is okay to say no. It is okay to put your financial prosperity, stability over other people's. So that's my opinion for today. I love to hear from you all. I know many of you have faced this, some more than others. Would love to know what your thoughts are going forward, because once you manage to evict some of these people, I see landlords make the same mistakes over and over. How do you plan going forward to not have this happen again? You need to have a plan. Otherwise, you're going to fall into the trap again. If you've been, I call yourself a victim. If you've been a victim of someone like this, how do you plan going forward to not fall into this trap again? So I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me on my blog at commonsenselandlording.com. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.